Blood covered the road. The big motorcycle was on its side. A man lay still on the ground, his leg bent the wrong way. Cars drove past. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. But one girl ran toward the danger. Her feet were bare. Her clothes were torn and dirty. She had nothing, but she had a heart that would not let her walk away. If you love stories that touch your heart, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to our channel and drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. We love hearing from you. Her name was Celestina. She was 17 years old, but her eyes looked much older. They had seen too much pain, too much loss, too much hunger. Celestina had been living on the streets for 2 years. She slept under a bridge near the highway. Her bed was old newspapers. Her blanket was a trash bag. She owned one pair of pants, one shirt. Both had holes in them. Every morning, Celestina woke up when the sun came up. Her stomach always hurt from hunger. Her throat was always dry. She would walk to the gas station. She would ask people for spare change. Most people looked away. Some people said mean words. A few people gave her $1 or $2. With that money, she bought bread, sometimes an apple. She always saved half for dinner. She never knew when she would eat again. Celestina's mother died when she was 15. Cancer took her away. Her father left when she was a baby. She never knew him. After her mother died, Celestina lived with her aunt. But her aunt's boyfriend was a bad man. He hit Celestina. He yelled at her. He scared her. So she ran away. She chose the streets. The streets were hard, but they were safer than that house. For 2 years, Celestina survived. She learned which places gave free food on Wednesdays. She learned which shelters had beds on cold nights. She learned to stay away from bad people. She learned to hide when the police came. She learned to be invisible. But Celestina had one special thing, something the streets could not take away. She had kindness in her heart. She saw other homeless people and shared her food. She saw hurt animals and helped them. She saw the world's darkness but kept her light burning. On this day, Celestina was walking along Highway 42. It was Saturday afternoon. The sun was bright and hot. She was going to the church 3 miles away. They gave out sandwiches on Saturdays at 3 o'clock. Her stomach growled. She had not eaten since yesterday morning. That's when she heard it. A loud roar. The sound of motorcycle engines. Lots of them. Celestina looked up. She saw a group of bikers riding together. There must have been 20 motorcycles. They wore black leather jackets. They looked tough and strong. Celestina stepped off the road. She let them pass. The motorcycles were loud. She could feel the ground shake. She watched them zoom by. 1 biker, 2 bikers, 3 bikers. Then it happened. The 10th motorcycle hit something on the road. A big piece of metal. The front tire exploded. The motorcycle started to wobble. The biker tried to control it, but it was too fast. The motorcycle fell sideways. It slid across the road. Sparks flew everywhere. The biker flew off the motorcycle. His body rolled on the hard ground. Once, twice, 3 times. Then he stopped moving. The other bikers stopped. They turned around, but they were far ahead. It would take them time to come back. Cars drove past the crashed biker. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars. Nobody stopped. They just kept driving, like the man on the ground did not matter. Celestina's heart jumped in her chest. She ran. Her bare feet slapped the hot road. She ran to the man. Blood was coming from his head. His leg was bent wrong. His eyes were closed. "Mister! Mister!" Celestina yelled. She knelt beside him. Her hands shook. She did not know what to do, but she knew she had to do something. The man's eyes opened a little. He groaned in pain. "My leg," he whispered. "Don't move," Celestina said. She looked around. No help was coming yet. The other bikers were still turning around. Cars still drove past. Celestina took off her shirt. She was wearing a tank top underneath. It was old and had stains, but it was all she had. She pressed her shirt against the cut on his head. The blood soaked through fast. "Stay awake, mister. Please stay awake," Celestina begged. Tears ran down her dirty face. The man looked at her, really looked at her. He saw her bare feet, her thin arms, her clothes with holes, her tangled hair. But he also saw her eyes full of worry, eyes that cared. "You stopped," the man whispered. His voice was weak. "Of course I stopped," Celestina said. "You're hurt." The other bikers arrived. Their motorcycles made loud sounds as they pulled over. Big men with beards jumped off their bikes. They ran over. "Gunner!" one man shouted. He was huge. His arms were covered in tattoos. "Gunner, buddy, hang on!" A woman biker knelt down. She had short red hair and kind eyes. She saw Celestina holding the shirt to Gunner's head. "You did this?" the woman asked. Celestina nodded. "He's bleeding bad. His leg is broken, I think." The woman biker looked at Celestina with surprise. "You stopped to help him?" "Yes, ma'am," Celestina said quietly. Another biker was on his phone. "Ambulance is coming. 5 minutes." The big tattooed man looked at Celestina. "What's your name, kid?" "Celestina, sir." "I'm Brick," the man said. His voice was rough but not mean. "This is Gunner. You might have saved his life." Nobody else stopped. Celestina kept pressure on Gunner's wound. Her hands were covered in his blood, but she did not let go. "Is he going to be okay?" The woman biker put her hand on Celestina's shoulder. "Because of you, yes. I'm Rosie. We're part of the Iron Angels motorcycle club." Soon, sirens filled the air. An ambulance pulled up. Paramedics jumped out. They took over. They put Gunner on a board. They wrapped his leg. They put him in the ambulance. Before they closed the doors, Gunner looked at Celestina. "Thank you," he said. His voice was stronger now. "What's your name?" "Celestina." "Celestina," Gunner repeated. "I won't forget you." The ambulance drove away. Celestina stood on the side of the road. Her shirt was gone. Her hands were bloody. Her whole body shook. Brick walked up to her. "You okay, kid?" Celestina nodded. But she was not okay. The shock was hitting her now. Her knees felt weak. Rosie caught her before she fell. "Whoa, easy. When did you last eat?" Celestina could not answer. Everything went black. Celestina woke up in a strange place. She was lying on a soft couch. A real couch. Not newspapers. Not cardboard. Real cushions. Soft blankets covered her. She sat up fast. Her heart pounded. Where was she? How did she get here? "Easy, honey." Rosie walked into the room. She carried a plate of food. "You're safe. You're at our clubhouse." Celestina looked around. She was in a big room. Motorcycle pictures covered the walls. There was a bar in the corner, pool tables, leather chairs, and everywhere, men and women in black jackets. The Iron Angels. I need to go," Celestina said. She started to stand up. "Wait," Rosie said gently. "First, eat. You fainted from hunger. When did you last eat a real meal?" Celestina looked at the plate. Eggs, bacon, toast, fruit. Her stomach made a loud sound. 2 days ago. Maybe 3. Rosie's face became sad. "Oh, sweetheart, sit, eat. Nobody here will hurt you." Celestina was so hungry. She sat down. She picked up a piece of toast. She ate it so fast. Then another, then the eggs, the bacon, the fruit. She ate everything in 2 minutes. Rosie watched with tears in her eyes. "I'll get you more." "No," Celestina said. "You already gave me so much. I should go." Thank you for the food. Brick walked in. Behind him were 5 other bikers. They all looked tough. Big muscles, tattoos, scars. But their eyes were soft when they looked at Celestina. Going somewhere? Brick asked. I don't want to be trouble, Celestina said. She stood up. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for the food. Sit down, Brick said. It was not mean, just firm. We need to talk. Celestina sat. She was scared, but also curious. Brick pulled up a chair. Celestina, right? She nodded. You saved our brother today. Gunnar is at the hospital. The doctors say he'll be okay. Broken leg. Concussion. But he'll live. Because you stopped. Because you helped. Anyone would have done the same, Celestina said quietly. No, Rosie said. She sat next to Celestina. We watched the traffic footage. 37 cars drove past Gunnar. Not one stopped. But you, a girl with nothing, you ran to help him. A biker with a gray beard spoke up. My name is Steele. I'm the president of the Iron Angels. We've been around for 30 years. We help people. We do charity rides. We visit sick kids. We believe in loyalty and family. Celestina listened. She did not understand why they were telling her this. Steele continued. We ran a background check. We know your story, Celestina. Your mother passed. No father. You ran from an abusive home. You've been on the streets for 2 years. You're 17. No help, no family, nothing. Tears filled Celestina's eyes. Hearing her sad story out loud hurt. I'm sorry. I'll go now. That's not why we're telling you this, Rosie said quickly. She took Celestina's hand. We're telling you because we want to help. You helped our family. Now we help you. I don't understand, Celestina whispered. Brick leaned forward. The Iron Angels take care of our own. And as of today, you're one of us. Celestina's mouth opened. No words came out. Steele smiled. A kind smile. We have a guest room upstairs. It's yours. Clean bed, your own bathroom, clothes that fit, food whenever you want it, a safe place to sleep. But why? Celestina asked. You don't know me. We know enough, Rosie said. We know you have a good heart. We know you're brave. We know you need help. And we have the means to help you. Another biker spoke. His name was Diesel. My sister was homeless once. Someone helped her, changed her whole life. I swore if I ever had the chance, I'd do the same for someone else. This is that chance. Celestina started to cry. Real crying. Deep sobs. All the pain from 2 years on the streets came out. All the fear, all the hunger, all the loneliness. Rosie hugged her. Let it out, honey. Let it all out. When Celestina could finally speak, she asked, What do you want from me? Nothing, Steele said. Just give yourself a chance at a better life. That's all. Celestina could not believe it. You'd really let me stay here? Not just stay, Brick said. We're going to help you finish high school. Get your diploma. Then, if you want, help you go to college or learn a trade. Whatever you want to do with your life. We'll teach you to work on motorcycles, Diesel added. If you're interested, we own a shop. Good money in it. And you'll be part of our family. Rosie said. We do cookouts every Sunday. Charity rides once a month. We celebrate birthdays, holidays, all of it. You'll never be alone again. Celestina looked at all their faces, these tough bikers with soft hearts. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Steele said simply. Celestina thought about the bridge where she slept, the cold nights, the hunger, the fear, the loneliness. Then she thought about a warm bed, regular meals, people who cared, a family. Yes, she whispered, then louder. Yes, thank you. Yes. The bikers cheered. Rosie hugged her tight. Brick gave her a gentle pat on the shoulder. "First things first," Rosie said. "Let's get you a hot shower and some new clothes. Then a real meal. Then sleep. Tomorrow we start your new life." That night, Celestina took the longest shower of her life. The hot water felt like heaven. Rosie gave her shampoo that smelled like flowers, soap that made bubbles, a fluffy towel, clean clothes that actually fit. After the shower, the bikers made a huge dinner. Burgers, fries, salad, pie for dessert. They all sat around a long table. They laughed. They told stories. They included Celestina in everything. For the first time in 2 years, Celestina felt warm, full, safe, happy. Before bed, she went to the room they said was hers. A real bed with clean sheets, a pillow that was soft, a lamp on the nightstand, a window with curtains, posters on the wall of motorcycles. Celestina sat on the bed. It was so soft. She lay down. She pulled the blanket up. It smelled clean and fresh. She thought about the day, how it started with her walking to get a sandwich, how it ended with her in a real bed, with a real family. She thought about her mother. "Mama," she whispered, "I think things are going to be okay now. I think I'm going to be okay." She closed her eyes, and for the first time in 2 years, Celestina slept without fear. 3 months passed. Celestina's life changed completely. She woke up every morning in her room at the clubhouse. She took a shower, brushed her teeth, got dressed in clean clothes. Then she went downstairs where Rosie always made breakfast. The Iron Angels enrolled Celestina in the local high school. She was nervous at first. She had missed so much school, but the teachers were kind. They helped her catch up, and Celestina was smart. She studied hard. She did her homework every night at the clubhouse while the bikers played pool nearby. Brick gave her a job at the motorcycle shop. Just small tasks at first, sweeping floors, organizing tools. But then he started teaching her how engines work, how to change oil, how to fix brakes. Celestina loved it. She loved working with her hands. She loved learning new things. Diesel taught her to ride a motorcycle. She was scared at first, but he was patient. "Trust yourself," he said. "You're stronger than you think." After 2 months, Celestina could ride a small motorcycle around the parking lot. The bikers cheered for her. She felt proud. She felt capable. Rosie took her shopping for clothes. Real clothes. Jeans that fit, shirts without holes, a warm jacket, good shoes. "Every girl needs to feel good about herself," Rosie said. Celestina cried in the dressing room. Happy tears. On Sundays, they had cookouts. All the Iron Angels came. Their families, too. Kids ran around. Music played. Burgers sizzled on the grill. Celestina helped set up tables. She played with the kids. She laughed. She belonged. The bikers celebrated her 18th birthday. They threw a huge party. There was a cake with her name on it. Presents. Everyone sang to her. Celestina had never had a birthday party before. She cried. Happy tears. Lots of happy tears. Steele gave her a special present. A black leather jacket. The Iron Angels logo on the back. "You're officially part of the family now," he said. Celestina put it on. It fit perfect. She never wanted to take it off. But the best day came 4 months after the accident. Celestina was working at the shop. She was changing the oil on a bike. She heard motorcycles pull up outside. Lots of them. She walked to the door. It was Gunnar. He was riding his motorcycle. His leg was healed. He looked strong and healthy. "Gunnar!" Celestina shouted. She ran to him. Gunnar got off his bike. He walked to her. No limp. Completely healed. "Hey, kiddo," he said with a big smile. "You're okay," Celestina said. She was so happy to see him. "Because of you," Gunnar said. The doctors told me I would have bled out if someone hadn't stopped. You saved my life, Celestina. Celestina felt shy. I just did what anyone would do. No, Gunnar said seriously. You did what most people wouldn't do. You stopped. You helped. You cared. He reached into his pocket. I have something for you. He pulled out a small box. Inside was a necklace, a silver angel pendant. My grandmother gave this to me, Gunnar said. She said to give it to someone special, someone who showed me what real goodness looks like. That's you, Celestina. You're my angel. Celestina started to cry. Gunnar put the necklace around her neck. All the bikers clapped and cheered. Thank you, Celestina whispered. Thank you for giving me a family. Thank you for giving me a life. You gave me my life first, Gunnar said. We're even. That night, the clubhouse was full of celebration. Music played. People danced. There was food and laughter and joy. Celestina stood outside for a moment. She looked at the stars. She touched the angel necklace. She thought about the girl she was 4 months ago. Homeless, hungry, alone, scared. Now she had a home, a family, a future, hope. Steele came outside. He stood next to her. You doing okay, kiddo? Better than okay, Celestina said. She smiled, a real smile. I'm happy. You deserve it, Steele said. You know, we've been thinking. How would you feel about us becoming your legal guardians? Make it official. Celestina turned to him. Fresh tears filled her eyes. Really? Really, Steele said, if you want us. I do, Celestina said. I really do. Steele hugged her. Then it's settled. Welcome to the family officially. Celestina went back inside. Rosie grabbed her hand. Dance with me. They danced. They laughed. They celebrated. Brick came over. Hey, Celestina. We have a surprise for you. He led her to the garage. All the bikers followed. In the middle of the garage was a motorcycle, a smaller one, perfect for her. It was painted blue, her favorite color. On the side, it said Celestina in silver letters. No way, Celestina whispered. Your bike, Diesel said. We fixed it up for you. When you're ready, you ride with us. Celestina ran to the bike. She touched it. Her own motorcycle. Her own. I can't believe this is real. Believe it, Gunnar said. You're an iron angel now, and we take care of our own. 6 months later, Celestina graduated high school. She walked across the stage. She got her diploma. The entire Iron Angels Club was in the audience. They cheered so loud. They embarrassed her. But she loved it. After graduation, Celestina decided to go to technical school. She wanted to be a real motorcycle mechanic. She wanted to help run the shop someday. But she also did something else. She started volunteering at the homeless shelter. Every week she went there. She served food. She talked to people. She let them know that things could get better, that there was hope. She told them her story, how she was homeless, how she helped someone, how that someone helped her back, how her whole life changed. Many people cried when they heard her story. Some people said it gave them hope. That's all Celestina wanted, to give others the hope that she was given. 1 year after the accident, the Iron Angels had a special ceremony. They gave Celestina her full patch, the full Iron Angels logo for her jacket. It meant she was a full member, part of the family forever. Celestina stood in front of all the bikers. Steele put the patch on her jacket. You came to us with nothing, he said, but you had everything that mattered. Courage, kindness, heart. We're proud to call you our sister. Everyone cheered. Celestina cried. Happy tears. Always happy tears now. That weekend, they went on a big ride. Over 100 motorcycles. Celestina rode her blue bike. She rode between Gunnar and Rosie. The wind blew through her hair. The sun warmed her face. She felt free. She felt alive. She felt loved. They rode past Highway 42, the place where everything changed. Celestina looked at that spot. She remembered the girl she was. Bare feet, torn clothes, empty stomach, but full heart. That girl saved a man's life. And in return, that man and his family saved hers. Celestina smiled. She revved her engine, and she rode forward, into her future, into her new life, into her forever home. Because sometimes one act of kindness can change everything. One moment of courage can start a whole new story. One person who cares can make all the difference. Celestina was that person, and the Iron Angels were hers. She was home, finally, truly home. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below with where you're watching from. We love reading your comments and hearing how these stories inspire you. Share this story with someone who needs hope today. Remember, one act of kindness can change a life forever.